work session into order. Commissioner Fain, will you lead us in prayer, please?
Yes. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this time. We thank you, God, that you have blessed us to all come together on behalf of our county. We ask that you lead and guide us, that you give us the wisdom that we need, God, that we will be respectful of one another and we will listen to one another. And we ask that you lead and guide us in every decision that we make. We thank you for your presence. We thank you for your power. And it's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen.
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 Now we're going to turn it over to our county manager.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I want to rearrange the agenda just a little bit, and I want to do the rezoning case, ZMA 25-002. And so we'll call Ms. Sherry Moss, our planning director, to guide us through that. And of course, the board cannot take action, and it's not a public hearing, so there's no public comment. So,
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I am going to briefly go through this summary that I prepared for you all because I don't feel it was very detailed enough at the commissioners meeting that you had last. And this is a rezoning request from R30 to R20 by Patricia Hughes, which is the owner, and 158 West LLC, which is the applicant, for property located off of Highway 158 Business. It's approximately 1,000 feet from Horseshoe Bend Road and adjacent to Hunter's Ridge subdivision, if you're familiar with that area. The total acreage is a combination of two parcels, with parcel 0426010002 being 35.18 acres and parcel 0426010047 being a total of 0.28 acres for a total of 35.46 acres. The adjacent property owners were notified via letter and was emailed on September 19th, and the legislative hearing sign was placed on the petition property on September 22nd. And that's also meeting the deadline requirements for public hearings. Also, the property is located within the rural designated area of the Vance County area with no land use classification or designation per the future land use map. The zoning in the areas consist of R30 residential low density, office institution, employee institution area, light industrial, and residential medium density. The closest R20 zoning district is approximately less than a half a mile off of Highway 158 Business and Poplar Creek Road. And according to the application, based on the applicant, they're requesting a change in the zoning of the property from residential low density to residential medium density, which would permit medium density residential development. As stated in the application, the said property, this proposal seeks to address the housing concern in an attempt to obtain greater density while still conforming to the county long-range plans for the area. The plan is to develop a residential subdivision of approximately 35 lots. The neighborhood would provide affordable housing to the area. In addition, per section 3.2.4, the residential medium density is established primarily for protection of the county's residential growth areas from incompatible land uses. This zone is characterized as being within the public water and or sewer service area of the proposed service area. And also per section 32F, the minimum requirements for water and sewer service, it states that in the R20 and R10 zones, the lot size minimum requirement is with access to public water sewer only. This zone is not intended for use with private well or septic systems. However, per the subdivision ordinance, when a public water system is not available, or where capacity and or line sizes is not efficient for extension, individual wells, shared wells, or community wells can be installed, inspected, and tested, approved, and maintained in accordance with the most current rules governing the protection of private water supplies. And that's General Statute 7.1700 of the North Carolina Administrative Code. Also, the applicant, in addition to that, the applicant is proposing a private well water distribution center system on private well that includes possible 2 well locations. The applicant has already had a soil scientist to come out to the property. Also, there would be individual septic systems. And while considering or looking over, or even though this would probably be at the November meeting, 5 policy guidelines to consider for all zoning amendments for favorable recommendation. The first one, the proposal will place all property similarly situated in the area in the same category or in appropriate complementary categories. There is convincing demonstration that all uses permitted under the proposed zone classification would be in the general public interest and not merely in the interest of an individual or small group. 3, there is convincing demonstration that all uses permitted under the proposed zone classification would be appropriate in the area included in the proposed change. And 4, there is convincing demonstration that the character of the neighborhood would not materially or adversely affect any use permitted in the proposed change. And 5, the proposed change is in accord with the county land use planning principles. Also, there are goals of the comprehensive plan appearing to support this request. Namely, it was goals 1 and 3, with goal 1 being to encourage development at a rate and in a pattern which can be efficiently and effectively served by existing and planned services and facilities. And goal 3, to promote, encourage, and stimulate the conservation of existing housing stock, rehabilitation, or replacement of a substandard housing and the construction of a new housing stock. Also, the planning board reviewed this item at its September 11th regular meeting, and it was voted 3-2 to recommend approval. So when you're ready to vote, you need to find out whether request is or is not consistent with the adopted 1996 land use plan and is or is not reasonable and in the public interest. Also, the attachments that you had in your packet, it included your rezoning application, deeds, meets and bound description, boundary survey. You have your affidavit of service, which included the certification of advertising of the legislative hearing, which also included adjacent property owner listing, legislative hearing letter, photocopy of first-class mail envelopes of the owner and adjacent property owners, photos of the posted signage, and legal notice to advertise in the Daily Dispatch. You also have a statement of consistency and reasonableness. And finally, I do know there were some questions that was asked at the last commissioners meeting. So I just want to share with you the steps of how the rezoning works, especially if it's a major subdivision. So once after this, if this rezoning is passed, so the preliminary plat is prepared by the developer, whoever, and that preliminary plat will go before the TRC committee, technical review committee. And once all the comments or whatnot are received from the TRC, that preliminary plat will go before the planning board for approval. And then once that is approved, and then the construction drawings will take place and be prepared. And that will also then go before the technical review committee. And after that is approved, then you have the final plat review and the recordation of the final plat. I just wanted to make sure I go through and summarize and hope that was a little better for you to understand this project.
So you're saying our obligation, you're trying to go from a 30 to a 20, right?
R30 to R20.
20.
And what that is changing it from, proposing to change it from a 30,000 minimum lot size to a 20,000 square foot
So
minimum
that's a
lot
smaller
size.
size.
Smaller size.
And so that's what you're asking whenever we vote. That's
Yes.
our
Yes, that's what the applicant is
But then
proposing.
the applicant take it further after we approve, then it's up to another board to,
Yes, for the actual major subdivision, that's a whole nother process.
okay.
All we do is the approval
I
of
just wanna
changing
make sure, yeah.
zoning. But as it was pointed out in the public hearing, there are a number of uses in R20 that are not consistent with that area that are available. Additionally, as you mentioned, there's no water out there.
Right.
So we've already had several serious accidents on that stretch of road right from there.
And to add to that, I believe the applicant did reach out to, or staff reached out to City of Henderson. They wouldn't extend it that far, and also EnviroLink, they're too far from that as well. So any times when you don't have a public water system, you can seek, the next option is to seek if you can get the land perked or a soil scientist to come out to see if you have suitable soil to actually go the well and septic way, whether it's community well or whatnot.
But you said water won't run through that. You said water won't go
Water
through
will
that.
not go out there.
Will not go out that far.
So they have to do a
Actually,
well.
when we designed the water system, we tried to get the city of Henderson to connect there, going back into town. We had some extra money and they chose not to at that time. So that part, that boat sailed. Additionally, I'm aware of 2 or 3 houses that were built out there that are having difficulty in finding water to the point that they're about to give the bank back the house because they can't keep water in the well.
So what, Dan?
I said, I'm aware of a couple of houses out in that area that they're having difficulties with water to the point that they're about to leave the house and give it back to the bank because they can't get water. So
What does Hunter's Ridge have? What do they have, wells?
this
Where
would
at?
have a well. This would have to be community wells because you can't put a well and a septic tank on a half-acre lot.
What I'm saying is, what is in Hunter's Ridge? Wells and septic tank?
That I'm not sure, but
Mhm.
that Hunter's Ridge, I'm not sure, but I do know, I believe the lot sizes on, I mean, this is at another review, but I believe some of the lot sizes are mixed, over 20,000, some maybe 30,000. But a majority of the lots within this proposed subdivision may be anywhere from 20 to 25,000 square foot.
So what you saying, if they went to a 20, they can't put a septic tank in a well?
No, you can't put
But 30 you can?
30, 3/4 acre lot, as long as you've got the proper distance between the well and the septic system. And you've got to have that staggered so that, if your neighbor's septic system can't be within 100 feet of your well or whatever it is. So all of it has to stagger and play in.
But I do remember him mentioning that he's gonna have 2 locations for a well.
Well, that's a community well.
That's a community well, yes.
And if something happens to that, then we've got people that
Right.
they're gonna be here
And-
saying, why'd you let them do that?
Right. And then too, the main reason for the rezoning is to find out whether you have your zoning and your comp plan and the consistency between the two.
And the fact of the matter is, we could sit here planning, saying, what she's saying now is she's planning on putting 36 or 38 houses in there,
35.
or 35, whatever it is. And then he could come back after we change the zoning and say, well, I'm gonna make this all townhouses and condos. Or I'm gonna make this, whatever. I mean, daycares, it's all kinds of
But-
things you could do.
I know, I believe with the, let me pull that up. I do believe with the uses, they believe they still have the same residential uses. So within the table of permitted uses, bona fide farm, commercial, well, let me go to the residential, single family, detached, multifamily dwellings, multifamily dwellings for townhouses, apartments, and condominiums. The other ones was for duplexes and triplexes. You have the manufactured home, single wide or double wide, manufactured home park, single wide, double wide, with issuance of a special use permit, planned unit development with a special use permit, home occupation business with special use permit, family care home, daycare facility, home for the aged, assembly. You still have those institutional uses, but a lot of those are by special use permit. And let's see, agriculture support services, special use permit, bed and breakfast, animal hospitals, veterinary clinics. So the list goes on and on, but a lot of if there is a commercial piece in there, is by special use permit. It's not a great deal of commercial, but believe it's some that may be, that's geared around for residential uses or residential
I just
services.
don't believe that's consistent with what is out there.
Right. And then too, across the street, you still have that area. I forgot what you call it, but I don't, I know it was a lot of light industrial. It was a lot of EIA at one time, and it was recently rezoned to LI. I said it backwards. Yeah, EI to LI.
Mhm.
EIA to LI.
Right.
And office institution, R20, R30, agricultural. But across the street, like I said, it's mostly going to be, is zoned for light industrial, EIA, and office institution. So it's a lot of mixed uses in that area.
I think we just run risk on that density in that area. And probably, hopefully we can, when we get to a place to vote, we can vote that way.
When you say you cannot get water to the area, Hunter's Ridge is not that far away. What does Hunter's
It's
have?
right adjacent, it's
Do
adjacent
they
to,
have wells or do they have city water?
no, they have wells.
They have wells.
Huh?
They have well and septic.
I didn't realize, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And they're zone R30.
So Hunter's Ridge, what's the place down from there? Going toward Oxford, what's that development?
This one, he talking about Hunts.
You talking about Huntstone?
Huntstone. He's talking about
Hunstone, what are they
Huntstone.
on?
Huntstone has water. They
Yeah,
have the
closer
city
on
water
that-
line that goes
So
in.
what?
They have city water line that goes into there.
Right.
And they also have sewer, correct?
I believe so. On that line, yeah, they did extend out to that, but after that is no
Yeah.
no
So
service.
which way does that line come in, Dan? Because it's not that far away from
It
what they're
goes
talking
in
about.
through what was our industrial site, Poplar Creek.
Okay.
Yes, Poplar
Over near
Creek area.
the, where the Centris building was.
Okay.
Vance-
Is that Technology Lane?
Poplar Creek, huh?
Yeah, Technology Lane, all that is out there
Yeah,
too.
it does
So
that.
water and sewer can't be descended to this place?
No, it can't be. I mean, the
Mhm.
cost would be totally prohibitive.
Okay,
Right.
okay, I got you, okay.
Mm. Thank you. Any more questions?
So what's before us in terms of what we?
We'll make the decision till the November.
Yeah.
Right,
I'll put it on the county manager's report for you all to vote on
in November.
in November. Since we already had a public hearing in October.
So we'll vote on it at our next meeting?
Yes, sir. You can't take action today. Correct.
Do we
Thank
get a
you.
feel-
Thank
Do
you,
we get an
Sharon.
idea which way we're going, what we were considering, or we can't do that today?
You have to wait to November.
Okay,
You gotta think about it.
something to think about.
So the next item I want to invite our interim DSS director, Ms. Cassandra Hart up. And Brenda, you want to come up as well? No, are y'all together to present this and discuss it? It's up to y'all. Okay. So I've been having conversations with Cassandra about telework and flex schedules. And I've already approved a flex schedule, but a telework schedule would have to be approved by the commissioners. So of course they continue to have issues with recruitment, and I think we all know that we'll never be able to pay like Durham and Wake County. So I think offering an additional benefit for telework is something that will be beneficial. So essentially, Cassandra did and this is in your packet. She did a study of surrounding counties that are offering telework policy, but also offering biweekly pay. And that's something that I do want to address at some point. But biweekly pay comes with the implementation of a timekeeping system and not the way that we do timekeeping now. So I don't want to talk about that now, but I do want to have a conversation to see how you feel about us creating some type of policy to bring back to you for telework. And y'all chime in at any point if y'all want to. I don't want to
Oh, no,
control
you
the
fine.
meeting. So, but I do think telework would be beneficial because, like I say, we don't have the option to offer certain benefits to our employees because being a tier 1 county, we don't have the revenue that supports it. But telework, we could start with DSS as a pilot department. And I think there have been some concerns about, I guess, employees being honest and I guess just trustworthiness. And so it's my understanding that NC Fast can track. You want to speak to that?
Yes. So NC Fast timestamps all actions in NC Fast. So, and most staff also has complete day sheets. So it's daily log of everything that you do. So we can match it back to NC Fast to see when they were in the system, how long they were in the system, and make sure it matches. And then child welfare is going to have a similar system.
Yes, which will be rolling out, Vance will be rolling out November the 3rd, which is Path and C. So all documentation, all case activities will be in Path and C. And again, that'll be time stamped as well.
So I just wanted to get your thoughts on us creating something and bringing back to you all for consideration, some type of telework policy.
They said my daughter works in Wake County.
Mhm.
She's a supervisor,
Mhm.
and they only have to go in office twice a week.
Mhm.
So she works 3 days from home, and they love it. And that's how I know how to. And I asked her, and she told me about day sheets and all. She said, "You, it's a tracking system." She said, "We track it," because she's a supervisor, and she said her team she tracks everything that they do through that NC Fast.
NC Fast.
Yeah.
Fast,
So and they love it. So I thought and they're a great big county, you know, and versus Vance County. So I thought it was a wonderful thing. Like I said, and she said they get just as much work, but they have to monitor everything. And so she said, like I said, she only go in the office twice a week.
Yes, and I noticed when I was in accounting, and I did it. I had like half of my staff when COVID came along, and like half of my staff was teleworking, and productivity increased, and we even had a little increase in our revenue as
Yeah,
well. So I mean, it has its pros. It really
Yes,
does.
yeah.
So.
And all the employees have laptops now, right? So you're like ready as far as PCs and things like that. You have laptops.
Yes, the only ones that can't telework yet is child support because they need the VPN, which Randall said be available later in November.
Yeah, VPN has been down for a while.
And I think she said when they do a new hire, they maybe have to come in maybe 3 months. Sometimes they got like you got to come in and be trained. And once you do the 30 or 60, however they have it, then you're allowed to telecommute. But you have to come in and get your training. You know.
Yeah, you have to be able to work independently.
Yeah. So so I just threw that out there as well because they
I
have to
have a
come in.
son that lives in Charlotte, works for the city, and he and his wife both work from home. And my daughter-in-law is in HR, and she prefers that. My son, who's he's strange and everything, but he prefers working from home. He's getting more done.
Yes.
He's saying getting much more done and everything. He says sometimes you think you do a little bit too much and everything because before you know it, the time is gone and you've worked over. So they both are like yours, Carol. They're in favor of it and everything, but
And then she said everybody have to rotate the desk. Everybody have to, rotate making sure the desk, and they just got a system.
Yes.
And she said, and they're not gonna leave because they love that telecommunication.
And that's what I took notice. A lot of applicants that we have come in, the first thing they ask at the end is, do you all have a hybrid schedule, flex schedule? That's what they're looking for. So
Yeah, we just figured that we need to be able to compete somehow.
Yeah, and because I always wondered, it's just my personal thought. I always wondered. I said, Wake County that large, and they can do it. Vance County, I just thought about it when I look at her, and thought, why Vance County don't do it? I always thought about it, but so I thought it always been a great idea, and we can't punish.
COVID changed everything.
It changed everything.
Personally, I don't like it, but in terms of the younger folks in general, seems to like it. So
I wish they'd do the school systems. Give me one day at home.
I guess I'm hearing everything they're saying, and I think they're dead on with it.
Yeah.
I've got two concerns. One is security.
That's my concern.
And
Security.
do we have the ability to do that? What are our security things that we do? I mean, we went through a situation recently where we got hacked. And so how do we protect that?
Well, I can work with Randall because I did speak to him Friday. He is in support, but I'll work out all the details about security with Randall.
And it has to be some in place. Like I said, if the other county's doing it, it has to be some kind of security is there, which is going to protect.
Have that technology?
Yeah, that's what
That's what I said. Got to be.
Do we have that?
Well, I will say that when Randall came to you all in October to ask for the additional funds, and so those additional funds will make us more secure than what we were before. But remember, when these employees sign on, they're on our network still, so they should be protected. Now they're using their own Wi-Fi, but we still should be protected in some way. But we can have that conversation with Randall. Yeah, absolutely.
And there was a provision also that said if you've got kids, you have to demonstrate that you have daycare. You can't use that to babysit your kids while you're working. So that was a good point I liked in it. The other thing I'm concerned about, it says that
We go back to the daycare they do what now?
it says if you have kids at home, you have to demonstrate that you have daycare for your kids.
So that's a policy today.
Yeah, that's part of the policy. That's in there.
Okay, I just
Yeah.
feel like I'm just wondering.
Is it there?
Okay.
So that's a positive because otherwise,
Yeah.
I know my daughter sometimes she'll
Right.
pick up her kid late in the afternoon and you see his head popping up on a conference call or something.
you see something you're supposed to do the Zoom. You see the cats and the dogs walking
Yeah.
across the door.
Because
So
mine
then-
do it when I'm at home.
Huh?
Because mine do it when I'm at home.
Oh, your cats and dogs.
My dog,
Uh-huh.
That's when he want to bark. That's when he want to get up there in my lap. So yeah,
The other thing that was in
But you
it,
still work from home though.
right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it happens.
the other thing that was in it was that the county would provide printers and those kind of things and office supplies. So what type
Office
of
supplies, but not printers. What staff will do, when they get in the office the next day, they'll print out the notices and mail them.
Okay, so they we won't have any additional expense.
No.
Okay.
And we're also going to add a clause that if you call out on your in-office day
Mhm,
and the next day is your telework day,
mhm.
it's forfeited.
That's right.
Yeah.
I need to see that.
And this policy was written for DSS, but I would like for it to be a county policy. So we'll work together because if we do this, it needs to be at some point possibly rolled out to other county staff. Now, most county other departments are not like, as far as they don't have laptops. So it would take some funds for us to move forward. So I can't recommend it for other county department, but I would like employees in DSS just to be our pilot. So yeah, but we'll work on the policy internally for sure. So y'all
Did
okay with
read
us
y'all
doing that and
policy,
bringing
so
something back to
I
you?
did read it, so I saw that.
Okay, so y'all okay with us working on something, bring it back to you for consideration? Okay. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Okay. So the next thing, let's do travel and finance policy. So we're presenting our recommended financial and travel policy to you all. And I'm not asking for feedback today, of course, but we would like feedback by October 27th, 2025 by 5 p.m. And in light of what the county has experienced over the past few years, I don't have to really say what that is. I think it's important for us to adopt this comprehensive financial policy and also revise our travel policy as well. I think that's very important. And I would ask that we focus on the broader policy direction and the intent, like the things like the transparency, the accountability, and consistency in the policy rather than getting too deep into the day-to-day operational spelling errors and things like that, because those are things that staff will handle. And I'm not asking for feedback today, so I would like for you all to take that. And I believe Stephanie emailed it to you all as well. So you have it in email as well as this printed version. So if you could provide any feedback or concerns that you have by Monday at 5, directly to myself and Stephanie, that would be great. So we can compile your concerns for you and get some feedback to you. So I'm not asking for us to discuss it today. I just wanted to hand it off to you guys today.
Tell me you got this on tape so I can listen to it when I drive.
And I will say the county has never had a comprehensive policy. So we're excited to present this to you all.
Is it in here?
That's not in this package?
I think you didn't print it. Is it in there? It is. It is. It should be. It looks
It's
like
this
this
one.
right
It's in
here.
this-
You should have. You
Yes,
don't
you
have
got
it then.
this.
Maybe it was. That's it right there in your hand. That's in your hand. That's it right there.
This
Mhm.
is the fiscal operations policy bank.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Well, financial policy, fiscal operations is all in the same, really. And travel is on what page is it? You didn't take it out yet, did it? Okay. Travel is on what page is it? Here it is. Page 21. Yeah, it starts on 21. Yeah, so fiscal operations, I'm sorry, I misspoke. It should be fiscal operations policy.
So that's what, yeah.
Yeah, fiscal operations.
I guess one thing on it, as I was reading through it, there, as far as conflict of interest,
Mhm.
on federal contracts are the way you've got it written, that it's extended family.
Mhm. So I will say the conflicts of interest policies, which you all adopted in 2018, we just copied and pasted it. So it's the policy we already have in place. But if there's something that you want to address, we can.
Well, state contracts are just your personal residence.
Mhm.
So those people are excluded. In addition to that, in North Carolina, if your largest city is less than 15,000 people, then commissioners are allowed to bid on certain contracts. And so we need to make sure that we're compliant with that part.
Okay.
Um,
Less than 15,000.
And and in 18, we were over 15,000, but now Henderson is less than 15,000
Oh,
people.
you mean like within the city, not the county?
With any city within your jurisdiction, yeah.
Okay,
So that brings you into that small category so that you have the ability to do that. You can't do construction projects and those kind of things, but there are a number of things that you can do.
okay.
So we just need to make that consistent with.
What, okay. We'll do some research on that and get that back to you.
Page 5.
Yeah, page 5.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, and that's the conflicts of interest policy that was adopted by the board in 2018. So we just pretty much picked it up and added it.
Okay.
So, but yeah, we'll review that. Stephanie, you got that? Okay, all right.
And then-
Was that your only concern for now?
Well, then there was some language, I think, on page 19 about the approval of contracts, and I just wanted some clarification on.
Mhm.
Said that you could approve contracts from 90 to 1,000 to 500,000.
I'll have to look and make sure that whatever is in here is
I mean,
what's in the budget ordinance. I'm trying to see where I don't see that anywhere.
You said 19?
I think it was on page 19. It was on my computer when I read it. I don't know what it is now. Let's see here.
Yeah, if it's within the budget ordinance. If it's already approved within the budget and it's something that the commissions have already approved. It's right here. I'm sorry, page 21. It says the county manager has authority to approve and shall sign the following types of contracts. And I believe this information is directly out of our current budget ordinance, but we'll check it, Dan.
It says, in this thing, it says the county manager has the authority to approve and shall sign
The following
the
types
following
of contracts.
types of contracts.
Right. I'm looking at it now.
And so I just want some clarification on that.
Okay.
And then the other thing was, I know you had about everything else in there with all the numbers and different things as far as limits and everything, but there were no limits. You know, you talked about the percentages of fund balance we had to maintain and those kind of things, but there weren't the things in there about the amount of bonds that are required for specific employees.
We can add that. We can add the bond information because we bring those to y'all every December for
Mhm.
approval, but we can add it to the policy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Stephanie, you got that? Bonds? Okay. Yeah, we'll get some clarification for the other information, Commissioner Brummett.
All right.
And of course, if y'all have any concerns between now and next Monday, because I kind of want to bring this back to you all in November, because we've been operating without a policy since I've been here. So it would be great to go ahead and get this approved so we can move forward. Anybody have any more questions? That's all, Commissioner Brummett, that you have for right now? You good now? Any more concerns?
Number right now.
Okay, that's fine. All right. And let's talk about a no-wake zone. So I'm gonna have to read this because I understand it, but I don't understand it. So let me just give you a little bit of history. So since I've started in this position, I've gotten several requests from several communities about a no-wake zone. Now, the commissioners adopted a resolution in 2013 for the Mills Creek community, which pretty much the commissioners don't have any authority to enforce a no-wake zone, but you all can do a resolution that supports that community going to the North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission to apply for a no-wake zone. And so a no-wake zone is pretty much an area where boaters must operate at an ideal speed just fast enough to maintain steering so their boat produces no wake that could damage property, erode shorelines, or endanger swimmers or other vessels. So my ask is, are you all okay with doing a resolution for all maneuverable waters in Vance County instead of just communities? Because I'm going to continue to get these requests. So I think
it's an area we need to stay away from. The people at the lake, the Corps, Army Corps and all, they know and evaluate that stuff. We don't really have any knowledge of it.
So
Right.
Why did they do it in 13?
Huh?
What did they do?
it was done in 2013.
Why
So
did
it
they do it in 13?
In 2013, a group came to, what's happening is that the way docks are being built now, they used to be fairly close to the shore. Now you've got docks that are going out 50, 100 feet out into the water.
Mhm.
And so when those people are on their docks, it narrows the ability of people to ride through. And it's by changing the design that it's becoming an issue. And I think, and we did it in 2013, I think I voted against it.
You did.
And so it's just one of those things that it's overreach on our part. We've got enough to deal with without being involved in that part of it.
Yeah, we're not trying to enforce it. It's just showing that the commissioners want to pretty much ensure safety on the lake. So it's not you all trying to enforce it. It's just showing support.
And this is the same code that they're applying for now.
So this was Mills Creek in 2013. This is the other one. Let me see. The new one is, hold on for a second. I can't remember.
So where's Mill Creek?
The new one is,
Creek's off Jacksontown Road.
Oh, Jacksontown. Oh, really? I know where I'm
So
at.
if you go Satellite Point.
I know where that is.
hold on for a second. I'm trying, Somerset Plantation. So I don't, it says
That's
Somerset,
down there.
Somerset.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's down in my area.
So,
And they said when people do what, they,
so essentially, I tried to explain it earlier in our meeting, but they laughed at me. So it's, so a no-wake zone is an area where boaters must operate at an ideal speed. So pretty much if you're on your boat, yeah, so not speeding on the lake. Yeah,
oh,
If
okay.
you make a wave when you're riding, that's called a wake.
Oh, okay.
yeah. And see, I wouldn't have known that
So
because
you
I'm,
gotta-
in my mind, I'm like,
So you gotta ride like 10
I
miles an
don't know
hour.
anything about it.
So they wanted to do it in a certain spot, but that 10 miles per hour
They don't want it. They want them to keep a certain speed on the lake.
on Lake Period.
Right.
Oh,
So we're not saying
No, just.
We're not saying-
speed, we're just saying
just
that
in the
they will be
code.
idle at an
Right.
idle speed.
Yeah, right. I think, what were you saying, Commissioner Brumman? Well, you were saying something right then.
Just Somerset, just in that cove, in the Somerset Cove, or whatever.
But they're requesting, yeah.
so what if they go to speed? What happened to them?
Well,
Yeah,
then,
I was gonna,
if the Corps approves it, then the Rangers can write them tickets. If they, for, and
So
no,
we said we want the wake zone.
we have no authority on it. All we do is we write a resolution, and
Resolution.
then the Corps would make a decision.
right, right. And that's all I'm asking is just we do a resolution, just like you all did in 2013, but not just for Mills Creek, for all waters on in Vance County. That's what I'm asking.
And so what harm would it be?
Well, I think you affect tourism.
So
Trying
what?
to get a clear
I
understanding.
think you affect tourism.
Tourism.
So you think they'll affect them from coming out being on the water because we want a certain speed?
Yeah, if you can't ride your boat on the lake.
I ain't- they're
We're not saying you can't ride your boat. It's
They
just
said-
riding it in a safe manner, which I think that's reasonable.
There's a, I mean.
That goes back to that little child that got killed on the boat, but there was a drunk driver. That was recently.
But then the other thing you've got now, and there's a lot of legislation coming up now on some lakes, is these wake boats, which they make a really huge wake. And so you get into all that stuff, and those are areas outside of our expertise. And
So evidently has to be some kind of issue for them to want to come.
Mhm.
So they must
So-
be having some kind of issue.
They are. They are.
They coming to us with it.
And they would just like to do an application to the Wildlife Resources Commission for special rules and regulations with reference to safety and just reasonable operation of your vessel while you're on the lake. And I think if we were to do this, I would recommend this if you all did, if it was done in 2013.
Yeah.
It was supported in 2013. So,
We're doing a resolution to support what the homeowners are requesting,
yes, sir.
but do we have, I guess what I'm trying to figure out, with the Corps of Engineers, do we have any authority over it?
We don't.
So
We're just showing that we support them doing an application to
An
the,
application.
that's all.
when they do the application, the Corps of Engineers is gonna take it from
Yeah.
there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
they
sir.
come
We
out.
don't do anything else other than support them doing the application. That's it.
Okay.
Because we don't have any authority.
but I would hate to do a blanket resolution. I think the resolutions would need to be specific to whatever situation comes up.
They need to do a resolution.
Now, he's saying,
Do a resolution.
So what
yeah,
now?
he's saying do a resolution specifically for those communities that requested, not a blanket resolution. I guess it keeps me from coming back and forth to the commissioners to ask for every community. That's my only concern.
And, that's
What
probably
communities
we do.
have just Somerset has requested?
Yes, sir. In 2013, it was Mills Creek.
So how many developments are we looking at?
Oh, I don't know.
They're all over the place.
Yeah, they're all over the place. Right now, Nutbush, what,
I
Satellite?
mean, but I guess my thing is, I'm not saying that the blanket resolution would Everyone's not asking, but I'm saying if another community were to ask, the resolution is already done.
We
That's
did
what I'm
it
saying.
in 20 earlier. What was it for? The whole thing?
No, it's for Mills
to-
Creek.
for one
October
community.
2013 was Mills Creek only.
So I guess county manager trying to keep from coming back, but only one community.
Somerset. And I can present 2 resolutions at your next meeting. Y'all decide what direction you want to go in. I can do one for the entire lake, or I can do one for Somerset. I'll just bring 2 and y'all decide what you want to do.
Do.
Okay.
The way I lean right now is to just do one for the community that's requesting it.
Okay.
Hope that you don't hear from
Okay.
anybody else.
All right. Okay. All righty. And what's last? Oh, okay. So the last thing on the work session agenda is just a letter of support for location of the detention facility. So Commissioner Hester has been, you have the information, Frankie? Commissioner Hester has been working with the state for the piece of property that is beside our animal shelter. What's the acreage, Frankie? I can't remember. Okay, so 10 acres. So he's working with the state to acquire this land, hopefully at no cost to the county. But we're not 100% sure on that yet. But we need a letter of support or something. The sheriff has already presented a letter of support stating that he supports the detention facility being located there. And so the state is asking for a letter of support from the commissioners that you all support this piece of property, which is already pretty much has water, has sewer, has everything that's needed to be able to move forward with the detention facility. And so I've created a letter, and I'm not asking for a vote, but I am asking for consensus to submit our support or your support for the proposed site for the new Vance County Detention Center.
If it's free and the sheriff supports it,
Yeah.
I support it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm supportive of the letter.
Mm-hmm. Y'all okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Commissioner Burton, you have any concerns? Okay.
Other than building the jail.
Oh,
Well, we know that.
You know that.
That's already left the barn.
Okay. All right. So I will submit this letter to I'll give Commissioner Hester's been working with us for us. So I'll get this letter to him, and I already have the sheriff's letter, and we're working on a letter from Mosley Architects and Bordeaux Construction. So have they been on the site yet? Not yet, but I think they plan to go on the site, but it is a site in which we can build on. So okay.
It's good topography and
It is.
real flat.
It's actually the perfect location. So, okay. Well, that's all I have on the agenda for the work session today. I think I went through everything. I did. Yeah, I did. And so I'll bring all this back to you all at your November meeting.
Okay. Get a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Lisa, you say.
Oh,
So all in favor?
you said so moved.
All opposed?
And I made y'all a honey bun cake in honor of Boss's Day, and it's in the back. I got you something special.